Yes, so what do you think about talking about the parents? I mean, what is the thing which you are just crazy about that? Just throw
I could
some light.
feel that right now. Hmm.
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, I could feel, I could acknowledge the situation right now as I'm the youth and there are lots of the person who are the youth. And now somewhere they are having very least conversation with their just parents.
Okay.
Maybe they are so much surrounded with the technology, they are surrounded with the others people, rather they just take their just parents for granted. And yes, when they just appear in front of their parents at the time when they are just looking for some kind of help, when they need their parents at the same time, then they just approach their parents and to just have a benefit, to just get the benefit from their parents. At that time they just only go ahead to just talk with their just parents, and apart from that they always, even if they are just staying around their just parents, they are not supposed to talk to their parents, because it is it is happening. And yes, it is very very much necessary to just have a conversation with our parents, because the thing is what is happening these days now. See, the parents are doing a lot for us. They have been just raising us since 0 years till now, and even ahead of our just life. So why don't we just give them a special treatment? Why don't we just acknowledge their effort, their suffering? And their suffering is all about like to raise ourselves. Are you getting?
Yes.
The thing is that they just belongs to the primitive society. They may not have that kind of the degrees, that kind of the technology, that kind of the facilities, that kind of the resources. Still, they are just providing the resources killing their by just killing their whole aspiration or all the desire, so that they could just fulfill our just wishes and just make ourselves happy, so that we could just grow in future as well. But at the same moment, we can see that even we are just living around our just parents, but we have a very less casual talk with our parents. Somewhere it leads to in a jeopardy situation in the future as well, because if we don't have the better understanding with our parents by the less of the conversation, and definitely parents are not going to help us or rescue us when we get stuck in the obstacle or setback situation. Are you
Yeah,
getting what
and
I'm trying to say?
yes, yes, and I think that they are more experienced, so they will definitely guide us, right? When there is some problems or where there are some situations that we are not sure, and so they can just be a parameter, right? But right now, what we find in this age, in this era, the people are neglecting them, and they are just asking them to go out of the house, and they're just living into some old mortgage
Hmm.
home, right? And they are just think that they are useless. And I think that one point we must
Yes.
just consider is the generation gap. Right? There is a generation gap. Is definitely prevailing. Right? If you are from like 1996 to what born 1996, so then you are just considered into Gen Z. So these people are having a lot of troubles with the current parents, with their parents, because they are Gen Z, and so their thoughts are different, because they are those people who are just born into the social media age, right? And so now their parents are not exposed to that kind of technology or that kind of stuff, right? So somewhat there is a large generation
Yes.
gap, large thinking gap between them. So one need to minimize that as much
Hmm.
as possible, and that can be done only through the awareness, through the this kind of videos, or to the things which we can approach to the society, that this is wrong. You must accept your ancestors, your parents, right? It is due to their effort you are brought into this world, right? So never consider themselves down, right? But just go along with them, if even if they're illiterate or even if they're not able to contribute, but still help them, right, to learn the new things, right? And anyone can just adapt and change as per the circumstances. That is what I just believe.
Yes, definitely. I can see that whenever the Mother's Day come, whenever the Father's Day come, people are so much eager to just have a selfie with their parents and just put it on the status. And after that, they just loot the appreciation from the different people that just make them feel proud. Yes, I have done some kind of the thing that considered to be appreciated.
Yes.
But yes, there is a false. or artificial emotions. We can see that on the status. Why is it needed to just have the selfie with your parents and making them feel a special in one day only out of like 365 days?
Yes, great. That is a good point
So
actually.
that is why, yes, that is why it should be stopped, because everything is hallucinated when it comes to on the status. Like everything is fake, man. Everything is fake. Just to grab the attention of the people, just to become a attention seeker of the people, you do something what you don't want to do. But at the off camera, when you show the integrity, living or living with your just family, living with your just parents, at that time you don't show that kind of the love and affection to your parents. At that time you are supposed to hate your parents, right? So where is the integrity, man? So everything is exposed. Like I am the youth, I could just feel the same. I could acknowledge my just friend. I have a lots of the friends, and they are just eager to just have the selfie only. And after that, and after once the Mother's Day, once the Mother Day get passed, and after they just live in the same situation. After they don't feel like just having the selfie with their parents, spending casual time with them. Like, see, I could see the huge difference between rural area and the, I would say, like city area or downtown area. Downtown area, somewhere the sons and the children are so much engrossed in accompanying with their just parents. But in rural areas, people are not so much habitual, right? They feel so inconvenient talking casual things with their parents. But on the other hand, if I could see, or if I could just have a look on society's people, those who lives in post area, they are so much comfortable with their parents. They somewhere they spend time with their family, spend whenever they just go outside for a walk, whenever they go outside for jogging. Son and the daughter are supposed to hang out with their parents. They have the casual communication with each other. Somewhere they just have a good laugh to each other while seeing some kind of short videos. That's how they just hang out. Even they just go to the movie with each other.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you are talking
so the
about the
scenario is
yeah, yeah, I would like to
no,
just
no,
pause. You are talking about the rural areas, right? Not the high
no,
society
in
one.
particular downtown area.
Yeah.
Because see in because see in rural areas, what happens? People are not so much open-minded. Somewhere they have a narrow-minded. There are some people, those who got a literate or who got a degree from rural areas, kind of the schools, and they are not so much open. They have a kind of the shyness, right? They have a kind of the cringe that restrict them to do this sort of the things with their parents. So whenever there is a work of something, they just go ahead with their parents and just have the talk. And after the talk won't go long, more than 10 minutes, more than 5 minutes, more than 20 minutes. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? Otherwise, that is why there is a lack of establishment of the strong relationship with parents and the children. And also, when they just go ahead in the future, they find a kind of the hatred towards their parents, and they just hate them, and somewhere they neglect their parents when they just become old.
Okay, so here I would like to add one point, like as shown in the movie Animal, right? So now here the
Hmm.
it was the richest person, right? And now so parents are not able to give that much time to the child, right? And so now there is a misconnection
No.
between them. And so now child, although they are rich and they are capable, but they think that now as the parents are not having that time, so they are somewhat detached. And with that detachment, as the year progresses, now the father is getting old, so child will definitely think, oh my god, my father is there not no responsibility for me. So how would I respond to him? How would I take care of it? And sometimes it questions
Yes.
them, and it asks the questions, and the father will definitely feel the guilt. Okay, I have invested a lot of time in making billions of rupees, and still, but what
Money.
about my family? Right? I am not able to give that time to my children, to my family. That is the thing. And right now, it is so much
Yes.
this area like, in this era. It is so much. This kind of stuff is so much relatable because when you find to these post cities and post cultures and post city, I mean, well developed westernized culture, right? They are just prone to this.
Hmm.
Like, they are always just it is just a threat, right? They are just investing time in making money, and they don't care about family and other stuff. That is the most important, a major thing, major drop.
Yes. Yes. Like as you are talking about the top level personality, those who have a great source of the money. But I'm saying that the post people can be also the kind of the people, those who have the good service jobs. And these people, maybe that I have seen their son, I have seen their just children, they are so much comfortable with their parents by just giving a company. See, once they just family go for a shopping, so even the children are eager to just go for a shopping with their just family rather than just friends. But in rural areas, people are a bit conservative. People are a bit orthodoxial kind of a thought. So somewhere these are the things, these are the element that restricts them to have a casual conversation, to have a casual meet with their just parents. So whenever they are supposed to get outside from their home, like as a parents or as a children of the parents who belongs to rural area, so they are supposed to not to talk each other. Otherwise, what would the other people will just think like? So the perception is completely different when it comes to the rural area, as I could just feel like, because as I'm the villager's boy, so I live in countryside area, so that kind of influence have from the different kind of the houses in the same rural area. So somewhere we are not so much open up towards our parents. So whenever we need
No,
something,
no,
whenever we
sorry,
need money,
sorry to point, but I would like to just question you. Why you think that in this village area also they are not connected? Sorry,
mhm.
I
Yes,
just
there are
lost
people.
the grip.
There are people I can acknowledge, man, because I'm too a kind of the person who are not so much, who don't have so much conversation with my parents.
But why?
See,
Why?
conversation
What is the
doesn't
reason?
mean
Why? What
see,
is the
see,
reason?
conversation doesn't mean that to just to just make your work done from your just father, from your parents. Like if you are in the problem, then you only seek your parents. So rather than like whenever we can just accompany each other, right? So sometimes what would happen, like we have a lots of the traditional thought, like like children can't have a good bond with their parents. So there is restrictions from the society, restrictions from the mind, because we haven't developed that much, like like living in this kind of the Western education, because Western education always make you open up sometimes. So somewhere it is good as well. But there is a conservative education or government education that won't open up your just mind, won't just make you feel like, it will just always make you feel like you are a primitive person, so you should be conservative, your actions should be limited, whatever you are doing, as I could just feel. And yes, my friends are suffering from the same. They just have the conversation when they require their parents only. They don't have the casual conversation with them. But yes, it is also depends like which kind of the family you belongs to. If your family, if your just parents are open minded, if your parents are a bit modern, then they completely indulge in your thought, indulge in your emotions as well.
Yeah, at this point, I would definitely recommend you to have a family time, have a quality family time, right? Where you are just putting up even the phone, right? Any kind of distraction, you just get involved with family. You just talk with them, even on what you can say dinner table or wherever you are just gathering. Right? You must talk to your family so that when you talk, the communication is the key, right, for any relationship. So if you are not having any kind of communication, right, with your partner also or parents also, then it is a curse, right, for you, and you will definitely have a problems in the future, right, because you are not communicating. So right now, the most important thing
Yes,
is to communicate and to tell the parents, right, about what you feel and how you are going through, right. And I acknowledge the thing that there are some of the things which you can't discuss with the parents, right? But there are other people also might be in your life, maybe a close friend or what you can say, your acquaintances, your friends, right? You can just open up them, right? That's what I just feel that right now the cases of depression, anxiety, stress is so much increased, right? Because they are not able to communicate. Right? And when you're not able to communicate, you're not releasing your emotion. Right? What is emotion? Emotion is energy in motion.
yes,
So you must release what you're going through. Then only you will feel good. That is the take from.
yes, definitely. But see, this kind of the emotion doesn't come all of sudden. So it takes a hell lot of the time. It takes like when you are being raised from a small and just become a mature. And after mature, if you are thinking that everything will be settling down, by just having a good conversation with your parents. So it takes a lot of the courage to have a casual conversation with your parents sometimes. Sometimes there is a religious, there is a customs, the way you are being raised. Sometimes these things become tough for you, and these things work like obstacles for you that restricts you to have a healthy conversation with the parents. Like really, just I could just feel the same. The thing is that there was a time, there was a time that I used to avoid my just parents somewhere. The thing is that I was not that much into my parents' conversation, so we had a lack of conversation that led to misconception, that led to misinterpretation sometime. So that is why I won't be just counting alone, like who going through the same situation. Like there are the millions of the people who lives, mostly rural peoples are not so much what should I say, they are not so much open up, they are not so much having liberty to just have a talk, to hang out with each other. Like as I told you, like we had a Partho Mishra, like he is one of them. So he, the way that he treats his parents, so somewhere that he's raised he's raised from like they're just parents, the way that he is being raised, like their just environment is different. But but there are the circumstances, there are the environment there, so it's all about the effect of the atmosphere as well, where you are just being raised. What was your situation at the time when you just came out from the schools? What was your behavior in the school as well?
No, but
The
this
way you
point,
talk, the way you...
no, but
Hmm.
this point which you just told about this conservative thinking, I'm shocked to hear this.
Mhm.
That it is prevailing that you are just conserved and now you are not able to talk with the parents. Because I have
No,
not been,
no,
I have never experienced this kind of stuff in the area which I am living, or in the in my upbringing, right? I have never experienced this kind of thing which you are just saying, that in what you can say urban areas people don't talk and don't express. They found conservative. I'm shocked to hear that.
no, you are misinterpreting right now. Like I'm saying that urban people are a bit good at talking with their just parents.
Oh, sorry,
But
it
in
might be
rural area,
rural. I'm talking about rural, or not urban. Sorry,
yes,
it
yes.
is my mistake.
Yeah, man, it happens. I can easily confess.
Have you seen any kind of examples like this which you're just claiming regarding rural areas? People are not just communicating.
Yes, yeah, there are neighbors in my villages, and there are lots of the houses who do the same. Like they feel awkward talking with their just parents and opening up their just thoughts, emotions, affections towards their parents in front of the others, right? And mostly maybe that they have a good conversation inside the wall of the room, but once they just get outside, once they board the train or just traveling somewhere, during the journey of the train, they just feel inconvenient talking with each other. Maybe that the others are noticing. Maybe yes. See, it's all about where you are being educated. I must say that it is a great influence. Which school have you been passed out? Like see, in rural areas, people are not supposed to go to the modern education system. People are not supposed to go to the highly educated or like well recognized schools. Like we don't have that kind of schools in the rural area. So mostly people are prone to go to the government schools, and in the government school the situation is very much different. It is, there is a drastic situation. Are you getting?
Yes.
So somewhere it is all about our school. Like see Huzaifa, as you are being raised well, like you used to go to the great school, because I could see your school also. So somewhere that it is the effect of environment, it is the effect of premises where you stayed. So I stayed completely differently. And you have spent a lot of the times in the schools where were lots of the communication happened. See, when I'm the person, I used to admit it, like when I was in the school days, like I had only two girls in my just 10th class. So at the time I was a bit conservative. I used to fear surrounding with the girls. because at that
Right.
time we didn't have the great communication with the girls. So somehow that the school, universities, so these are the situations that will give you the access of all those conversation and all those opening up situation.
Yes, I agree with you. Like for example, for our in our case, like in our school, we used to just gather boys and girls, right? So now you also know
Yes.
how girl behave and how to talk to girls, how to
Hmm.
approach them, what are their
Yes.
likings,
Yes.
how you can just behave in front of them. You know the social skills, right? But when you are not exposed, right? When you're just into studying into either boys' school completely or either girls' school, then you're not exposed
Hmm.
to the opposite gender. So now you are not,
Now you're understanding.
yeah, you don't have any kind of experience regarding the social skills, how to handle that kind of people. So it's a big question. Then you will definitely have to
Yes.
suffer. Might be in the progressive age, might be in the college or the where you work or something. You will definitely have problems. So it is all
Yeah,
about
that's the point.
environment, upbringing, and many other things, which is responsible.
Yes. Yeah, that is why like we can see that Partho Misra or the different kind of personality, they just belongs to very great schools in the in the town. So in the town, the school were not just giving you the education only, they were just providing you for the future reference as well. They are just building up your just mind. You could survive anywhere. You could just talk to the girls confidently. You could just talk to the boys even confidently. But in my just life, everything was just completely upside down, man.
Yes,
So
I
I
agree.
didn't have the girls around with me. So somewhere that people find a challenge, though who just face the situation in the government school. Like see what happens in the government school. You can see the condition of the rooms are so poor. Conditions of the conversations are so poor. So how we can just expect from these people who are supposed to have a good conversation with the people who lives in town or who just lives in the village, like could be a parents, could be a other person. They are not supposed to tackle all those instances.
Yes, yes, right. But
So that
now,
is why.
yeah, there is also
Mhm.
other side of it. Like people from the Western world, right? They just think that school just give up on the school. School is nonsense. But you don't know, school
Okay.
also teaches these many things, which we just talk about.
Mhm.
Right?
Yes.
That you can't learn by just dropping out of the school, right? You must go to school,
Never.
right? School, I know that maths, physics, chemistry will not be a major play a major role, right? But it is your whole curriculum, your whole upbringing, and all the things will be depending on the school, right? Just as like school doesn't teach about money, it doesn't mean that you don't need to go to school. School is definitely
Yes,
mandatory,
right.
100% mandatory. School education is 100% mandatory.
Yes. Somewhere people want to run off from the fact. Yes, going to the schools really it will just make your mind nurture. We can just have the difference between two people. Once the person who is going to the school regular on a regular basis and the other person who is not going to the schools and who is ignoring the school. He just keep on saying that no, school doesn't mean that that will just provide you the highest paying job. Even there are the 10 failed person who are just making billions.
Yes,
So it doesn't mean that we can see this kind of example rare from rarest.
yes, right. Communication is the important thing. So
Yes, very, very much important.
even if you are introvert, then you must learn the skill of communication. I would must say,
Mm,
and it begins from your
definitely.
family itself only. By communicating with your parents is the first step, so that you will
Mm,
be able to communicate with any damn person when you are open to your parents.
yes.
And you must never forgive
See, in,
your parents, right? Your parents, they are the ancestors, right? It's their genes you are carrying. So you must always bow down to them. You must always respect them and not just throw them to some orphan or old age house.
yes.
Right? That is the
See,
thing.
there is a misconception here. Like having not a long conversation doesn't mean that the people started hating their just parent. So it's all about sinus. It's all about the people blush while just talking with their parents because they haven't experienced that kind of situation to just have a good conversation, to just have a conversation on the topic which most of the people feel cringe about it. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? So in rural areas, there are some kind of the boundaries. There are some kind of threshold. You can't just exceed from that. Like you are always being judged by the different people in the rural areas because there are some people who are illiterate and they show their just illiteracy towards the other people and they just think of like I'm the superior. So you can't be that much exposed with your just parents in front of the others, in front of the public.
What will happen if someone does that? If someone is doing that, what you just told, then what will happen?
See, it's a situation. No, no, nobody is going to do anything, but there are some gossips happens. Are you getting?
Yes.
So they are the people who can't just encounter this kind of situation. They are a bit introvert, and yes, villagers are so introvert, man. When it comes to talking to the different person, rather friends.
Great. What about what about the Gen Z? What advice would you like to give to these Gen Z people? Those who are born after 1996, including you. You are also a type of Gen Z. Okay. So, what advice you would like to just share to these kind of people?
Okay, yes. I can see that like the person who have been just born after 1996, so there is an influence of the technology. Somewhere technology becomes an integral part for their life. So even if they don't have some entertaining friends, they can spend their whole time living with the technology. Like they can just have the laptops, they can just have the mobile phones in the idle time. Are you getting? So now the life becomes tough because of the lack of the friends, because of the lack of the emotions. Now the people are just feel so emotion. They are so feel depressed. Still they can't cry in front of the others. Otherwise, they know that the people will is gonna be kidding them. They started kidding them. They started not recognizing their just real worth of tears. What they are just they are just going through the excruciating pain. See, there was a time what used to happen when the people have a lot of the pain at the time emotionally or like physically, then they show their emotions, show their tears to the other person physically. But what is happening, everything is upside down. What is happening now when the people just go through the depression situation and just have a sorrowness, they show their sorrow, they show their just emotion by just putting on the status only. They don't have the friends right now, they
Okay.
don't have any intimate person right now whom they can just share their thought. Now we can't just divide our grief on the other people, and still we just feel like having great burden of the emotions. Once we just got back, once we just go behind 2 decade or 3 decade at that time, these technology didn't exist in our just forefather life, in our ancestor life. At that
Yes.
time, people physically share their thought, physically share their emotion to the other person. They hug them, they embrace them, rather than they show their just exaggeration.
Yeah, the
But
best
right
example.
now,
Yeah, the best example here I would like to just strike is the influencer, or what you can say celebrity. Now, when you take Shah Rukh Khan, right?
yes,
Shah Rukh Khan will not find great things right in the materialist thing, but he will definitely enjoy when someone hugs him, right? So
hmm,
he's not able to satisfy that emotional garbage or emotional problem that he's having. So now he's looking for the simple stuff and not that high quality materialistic thing. So that
yes,
is the
right, right,
power when you're just emotionally healed and when you just can communicate your emotions.
yes. Right now, he wants a emotional support rather than like money because he has a lot of the money, and he
Yes.
knows that like, he has already reached 60 years around. So somewhere that when he will be more old, then money can't just rectify, or money can't just ease their whole the emotion pain. It is all
Yes,
about like the physical appearance of their just beloved ones.
yes. Family is everything. Like for example, in COVID, we already had an example that nothing is more important than
Hmm.
family. So now,
Yes.
when you're neglecting your parents, means you are gone, and you must consider
Hmm.
parents as on the God side itself. So when you neglect the parents, you are neglecting the God, because parents are only your
Yes.
creator. We must
Yes.
respect our ancestors, our parents. That is so much important.
I don't know. Now people are doing a hypocrisy. Now they are having double standard. The first standard they just show it inside the home, and the second standard they show it in the social media, in the Facebook. And people get easily distracted or just get attracted from these kind of the multiple false pictures. Like people seems to be so much laugh, people seems to be so much happy. Now we get attracted, oh my god, what is the mantras, they are just able to so much happy. Now we just started feel like jealousy, but everything is artificial in the social media, everything is temporary in the social media.
Just a
Okay,
minute.
are you hearing, Josefa?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
You continue. Just a minute.
Yeah, I already explained. Like I have a bad thought, that is why I won't be able to execute it. Like seems like something is stopping me.
Yes, yes. The throat problem right now. Everyone they are having the problems right now going on.
Okay, what do you call it from your area?
It's
Are
ginger,
you able to see?
ginger.
Okay. What is the Hindi name, or what do you call it from your dialect?
But why are you diverting from the topic?
Okay. Now you can just go ahead if you have some points regarding this. What do you think? What are the concrete reason for this? Why people are taking their parents for granted? And once they just go outside of their just home, once they immigrate to the different cities, different regions, they feel so repent of it. They feel so remorse of it. Are you getting? Now they just keep on remembering everything what their just mother used to pamper them during raising.
Yes,
Hello?
at some point of time. I mean, I think that influence also plays a huge role, right? That is the environment,
Give me
and
an example.
means if you are staying from with someone who is just more into just materialistic thing and making money, right? And then you
Hmm.
will also become like that only. You will also neglect your parents.
Yes, yes.
Like for example, one of my friend is having everything. He's billionaire, everything, living at top class. But now he's not living with his parents. So what is the use? At some point of he will definitely feel a void inside, but he will not express. He will cover that void with the help of money. Okay, then I'm making a lot of money. That is the thing.
Yes. Now see, the way they did for their parents, the same their just kids are going to do the same. That's
Yes,
how the situation being compensated.
yes, right.
So that